What's good, Council of Comics? We're back. Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 5, The Pirate. Let's go.
Black is like the brightest day. Where are the heroes? As soon as they get here, everything will be alright. I need a hero. Someone superhuman who can come and save my life. Crisis after crisis.
All right. Thoughts?
Previously on for like 3 minutes at the beginning.
Yeah.
No, I thought I liked it, and I thought it moved like the story a little bit. Like you're getting like an idea now of the players and stuff.
Well, these guys, they made action figures of everyone. Everyone.
The Mandalorians?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, it's Grief Karga.
Nice.
Nice.
And the Mandalorian.
Nice.
So, yes, retro style figures. They've got,
So, the beginning of this episode, we, it's not the beginning, but it's like the next shot. Zeb! We get to see Zeb
Yes.
from Rebels,
Yes.
Yep.
which is pretty good.
Yes.
and they made
Yeah.
sure to make sure he looked good.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
made sure he looked right.
I did
Yeah.
like how he had a blue flight suit too. That was different.
Yeah, it's like New Republic type flight
Yeah.
suit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The voice is there, everything.
Yep.
They're just slowly giving us characters to get us set up. Because I think we're going to see most of these characters at the end of this season.
Or
Absolutely.
Ahsoka.
Yeah. I'm
And
waiting for
Ahsoka.
Hera. I want to see Hera. Because she's like the center glue of that whole Rebels thing. And if she doesn't rock, I don't know how far that can go. But this episode, the pilot from the New Republic,
Mm-hmm.
he
Mr.
he
Kim.
From season two. Season two,
yeah,
right?
Yeah,
so
for season 2.
Mr.
Yeah.
Kim from season 2.
he got a message from Grief Karga because Grief Karga's planet Navarro is being attacked by that pirate.
Yep.
Yep.
And he's
from
like, yo,
the
you
previous
owe me one.
episode. Yeah,
Right.
The pirate from Pirates of the Caribbean.
yeah. Davy Jones.
The pirate looked a little bit like Muppety to me.
Yeah,
Again,
yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
okay with
I'm
that.
okay with it.
That's
though,
fine.
We got a
That's
couple of
what I
Muppety
read
looking
with-
characters.
I thought it looked great with Star Wars. I thought he looked really good.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
As far as production goes, I didn't have a problem with that. The city of Navarro though looks kind of chintzy when people are running out of it. But you know,
Yeah, but you know what? Like, Navarro's like just recently been rebuilt up.
no, I know.
So,
but what I'm
like-
saying is it looked like a cardboard set in spots. I'm like, yeah, all right. I'm
Oh,
gonna
you
run-
mean when they were
Drinking
running
in
out the
school.
front?
Yeah, and they're running away from when they're getting shot at from the sky. It just kind of looked. It didn't look as good as it's looked in other episodes. But I'm gonna let it go because
Still great
Star
episode.
Wars.
Great,
you know.
great looking episode.
and also the way that we're talking about the puppet effects, like the way that one alien was like drinking beer, just like poured in my mask. I was like, perfect. I wanted to see that. Like, I don't know.
And like
No one else wanted
the
to.
whole, okay, so like the whole opening of the episode, like the whole first act of the episode, is no Mandalorian,
Correct.
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
like I made a joke about, but apparently that upset some people on the internet. And like, yeah, just shut up, okay? It's a great
Well,
story. Enjoy.
Almost the entire season, each episode, except for I think the first episode.
Yeah, the first
There's
episode.
large swaths of each episode. He's not in.
Oh, I know.
And the story really doesn't have to do with him. I'm sure it will.
But
at
it
some
does.
But it will at some point.
Yeah.
But
And I'm kind of okay with that
I am
because
too.
like,
'Cause
I don't know, we're
we're-
getting a great story. It
Yes.
does fold into itself. I just
Well, because that again, you were talking about when Mr. Kim came, and because he had the robot, the R5 unit.
yeah, the R5 unit.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So I lost my train of thought, but it folds in on itself because I lost my train of thought.
They would have to move.
So, yeah, they're gonna have to move.
Right, but then this is their opportunity to move into the light.
Yeah. So remember that Grief Karga had offered a piece of land to Mando before to be the sheriff.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the Kim guy flies over, because let's backtrack. The pilot guy goes to his headquarters. He goes to Coruscant,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
to
he
the main
does.
part, and he goes to talk to the guy that's in charge of
Played by
Tim Meadows.
Tim
Was
Tim
Tim
Meadows.
Meadows.
Yeah.
The
He's
ladies'
just a-
man, right?
He's,
Yeah.
he's a bureaucrat.
Yeah.
He really
yeah.
is at this
Yeah.
point. Yeah.
And the other person, the woman who turned
Yeah.
From Moth's ship.
Oh, she
Yeah.
needs to go.
Oh, I
She's-
can't
Somebody
wait.
needs to shoot her in the head.
I can't wait for her to get
Fucking
shot
crazy.
already.
So
She's
he goes to Tim Meadows' character and says, "We got to get some stuff over there because there's something more happening
yeah.
than just
This
Navarro."
isn't a
that's his whole
coincidence.
thing. But
Yeah.
yeah.
But then
But I just love how Tim Meadows is
because-
like, look, I'm in requisitions. What is it you need? Because
yeah.
That's how
Yeah, I don't
I say
care.
it folds in on itself is the fact that the Moff was taken, and it looks like the Moff was taken by Mandalorian.
Well, that's at the end
Well,
we
that's
find
at
out
the
that.
end.
But he
Yeah.
makes the suggestion that Moff Gideon never made it to where
right.
he was supposed to go,
To trial, yeah.
supposedly. So while he's having this conversation with the Tim Meadows character, the other character, the woman comes in,
Yeah.
and she's like, "Oh, well, I know Navarro, but they didn't sign.
Yeah, they're not a member world.
They're not a member world.
So let's let them suffer.
And he's like, so I was like, ooh, yeah, that's gonna be a problem. You know what I mean? He ends up not giving him the help that he needs.
Yeah, for someone who doesn't have the clearance to be at working around civilians, I feel like she should have kept her mouth shut.
right.
Right?
You know, but
Well, not
apparently
that- not
Tim
that
Meadows
part.
trusts her.
Yeah, not that part, but just the fact that she was able to influence his decision.
Yeah, absolutely.
Being as like
Yeah.
piece of
Well, yeah,
former
he's-
Nazi.
Yeah, she's so useful.
Well, and Tim Meadows,
Such
I
a
think,
useful former Nazi.
I think if she doesn't walk in, Tim Meadows gives him the stuff.
I feel that way too.
And
Absolutely.
then she walks in and she's like, "Well, but they're not a member world." And the guy's like, "Yeah, but what a better way to convince them to join
Then
than
to
go
rescue
help them right now?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "Well, that's not how we do it." And he's like,
And he's
"Well,
like-
you're an imperial. You're looking an
That's
imperial."
Yeah.
That's what the
Yeah.
rebel pilot says.
Because the pilot says something else is going
Well,
on.
she
she
says-
obviously knows what it is.
Oh
that's
yeah, I'm
going
sure
on.
she's
What does she
orchestrating,
say?
helping to orchestrate this.
What does she say too? I didn't change my line of thinking.
Because he sees her badge.
Right. He's something like, "I was rescued." He's like, "You weren't rescued. You were captured."
Yeah.
And she's like, I was liberated.
Right.
And he's like,
Yeah, right.
all right, sell that story to someone else. I'm so
Right,
happy that he
yes.
can see through
Yeah,
her.
he's like, go
So,
bounce
They
in.
refuse him the stuff. So then he remembers Mando.
Yeah.
And he goes and he finds where Mando.
Thanks to the R5.
Yeah.
Right.
Finds where he's at. He goes to the Covenant. So immediately all Mandalorians are like, yeah, we're done here.
That's why the R5 had to get sold to him.
Yeah.
Remember, it was falling apart. I'm like, this thing's a piece, and that's why. That's
Yeah.
the through line to
The
get him.
connection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Otherwise, it could have been any droid.
And it still could have been any droid. Like,
Well, it could have been, but
like
this
I don't
one, the
like
guy
I don't
knows.
right. No, exactly. This one that the guy happens to know, but I don't think she did that on purpose. You know?
I don't think she sold him that one. on
Yeah,
purpose.
exactly, but it
It's
works.
Correct.
Mhm.
Right.
So
It's the coincidence of the Star Wars universe.
Right.
And well, that droid served in the rebellion. That's what's really
that droid,
That's-
that's the R5 droid from A New Hope.
Yeah, that's the bad,
apparently,
that's-
yeah.
that's the bad motivator.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
So that droid is an additional 20 years later.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's like,
I mean,
yeah.
you
Got a
think
new
about it,
motivator.
these droids, though, I mean, it makes sense that they'd be around this long unless they.
I mean,
really
R2 is still around, and
R2
R2
is
and
still
R2
around.
has the most memory
Yeah.
of any of these droids. It's kind of upsetting because R2 knows things during the original trilogy that he
Yes.
does not share
Yeah.
Yes.
because his mind.
Not
was-
even with 3PO.
Yeah.
So
And I do love how the lore is that R2 has the worst mouth out
Yes.
of anybody, but you can't
That is
understand
pretty
because
cool.
you speak. Yeah.
R2D2. But he finds where they're at. Immediately they're like, okay, we can't stay here anymore because our cover's blown. He's like, look, I just want to give you a message from a person that you know. And he shows him Greef Karga's message that his planet's being attacked. And Mando kindly has to go to the Mandalorians and be like, look, I have to help this person.
Even though he
Yeah,
was
yeah.
once our enemy.
Yeah. He killed some of us. He was our enemy.
that part is
But-
really good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but he changed his ways, and I think he phrases it in "I have to go help him."
Right.
Yeah.
As far as like, you guys don't have to.
Yeah.
I'll-
But there
I'll
is
go.
an opportunity for you if you choose to come with me.
Yeah,
And then the dude who is the kid's father,
yeah.
and of course, what's her name?
Armor.
The armor.
No, the armor is
Bo-Katan.
silent, and I love it. But Bo-Katan is already in. She's like,
Yeah.
I'll go wherever you need me, right? And I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
that, right? So then when this dude steps up to talk, he's just like,
And at
You know,
first
I
you
owe
thought he was gonna
Bo-Katan.
argue it the other way.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
thought he was gonna go the other
no,
way.
he's like, all these things are against it. And he's like, and still, it's time for us to move on. And he's like, and Bo-Katan's, like, arranged the rescue of my son. So
Mhm.
I'm going to follow these two into hell. And I was like, this is so great.
Yeah,
I did love that it was very much a tribal let's sit around the fire and talk about this.
Yes,
too.
and they passed the armorer's
Yes.
like
Yeah,
stick, like it was a
exactly.
whole thing. By the way, if we've doubted the armorer's role up until this episode, it is clear that she holds the highest rank.
Oh,
They
absolutely.
Oh,
they
yeah.
made sure that we
She's the-
understood that
she's
this
the-
episode.
She's
Yeah.
the shaman, that you typically see in a lot of these, tribal whatever. The shaman holds all the power, but the other one might be the chief.
Yes,
But the chief
Yeah.
listens to whatever the
Yeah.
shaman says. Yeah.
right. But in here, she is chief and she's shaman. You know,
think so? I get the feeling that the guy who's the father is kind of the
would be
face of
chi-
the organization.
right?
but
He
she-
would be
but
the
she
chief
runs-
role.
Yeah.
But
He's number one.
right.
but she's a little bit.
Oh,
she's
she's
a little
elevated.
bit, yeah,
Absolutely,
no, she's
absolutely.
definitely elevated, but I feel like she plays a little bit of a dual role because she's not just a shaman to them, she's like an educator, and she's, in other words, she looks mysterious to us, which is of course how it's supposed to be portrayed, but I feel like culturally for them,
Mhm.
like she's their spiritual leader, she's
And
the
what's funny,
armorer.
now I'm thinking
And a
about it,
blacksmith.
she's the only
And a
one that has
blacksmith.
the horns too.
Correct.
Gotta be connected
So
to the mall,
she's
man.
the old.
She's
She's
the-
been around the
I'm waiting
longest.
for
Yeah.
that mall flashback, man. I gotta see that mall flashback. All right. So
But they agree
So they go to Navarro.
in full force.
It's pretty dope. The shot. If you look at the thumbnail for this, you'll see both of them going through hyperspace. They show up there, and they basically go to talk to him, right? Well, he's taking people out of the city,
hmm
and they're outside.
And they
the
start.
city.
Well, what's his name? Mando actually starts running the distraction.
Yeah.
Right, because then like the little pirate that he had previously chased is going after him, and then as he's going after him, Bo-Katan does her drop ship at the edge of the city to let out her troops. Then she launches an assault,
Yeah.
and then he's like, "You got to get back here! This is a trap! He's a distraction!"
Yeah. Yeah.
So
that
good.
ship, little Easter egg, that's a ship from the old Sith days.
Mhm.
It's an old Sith ship. Sith.
Yes.
From the Sith days. So
Yeah,
that's a little Easter
because
egg.
it does the one wing
Yeah,
thing and
it
all
has
of that.
little hook. It had
Yeah.
something to do with that little hook in the top.
That pirate ship looked very much like a Kree ship too. Did you get that feeling?
Yeah. Yeah. So they go into the city. There's the fight. Everything goes on. You know what I mean? They end up defeating the pirate ship guy. And then he's like, you probably
And the fight on the ground is severe
Yeah.
because the Mandos are outnumbered when they're
It's
down
very
there.
like modern warfare-ish kind
Yes.
of a fighting. Like
Yes.
they got cover, there's buildings, they're in
Yeah.
like an urban battle. Like
And then the rain down fire endgame
Yeah.
moment.
Mhm.
He's raining down the fire. But then the people make a big, they step in big. Because when they're I guess they're retreating or something like that. Cause
Yeah, a
they're
lot of
losing.
people are retreating, but some people are actually there, kind of trapped in the street, and they help out the Mandalorians that
Yeah.
are there.
And then that group of them, and they help that, and then they take care of that. Grief Karga gives them the land.
Right, he extends his offer to Mando to all of them.
Yeah.
He's like, that land can be yours. This can be your
Yeah.
home, which is a big deal because it's something they kind of discuss before they leave their current hideout,
Mhm.
and something that they are choosing to embrace. And he's like, so much has happened, and I know what you must think of me, but I'm offering you this land. This could be a home. We can live together.
How great would it be to have Mandalorians living right next door? When
I
anything
think so, but
pops off?
his speech was very sincere.
Oh yeah, I agree,
You know,
I
I
agree.
was like, and I was really impressed. He's so great.
I
He's a
agree.
great actor and a great director. I'm so happy with
directed
him.
that episode too.
Yeah.
Awesome,
Yeah.
dude. I mean, this man has been showing to us why he's been in this business for so long.
I guess the final is the big moment at the end. The armorer and Bo-Katan, he's like, the armorer wants
Yeah,
to
they have a
see-
little.
So the armorer is like touching the old, I don't know what you call that thing.
forge, the old forge.
The old
Forge.
forge from when they
And
were
she's-
living
she's
there.
looking at it and stuff. She comes to realization. She tells Bo-Katan, take off your helmet. And she's like,
What?
we just went through this whole
And
night.
she's like, "Do you respect my station?"
Yeah.
And she goes, "Yeah."
And
She's
she
like,
said,
"Take off the helmet."
Yeah. And
That
she-
was, dude. I'm still getting the chills on my shoulder. I love that scene so
yeah.
much.
And basically she says, you walk both worlds, Bo-Katan, and
Yeah.
you're the one that can basically unite all of us.
Unite the clans.
Yeah.
Yep.
So she goes
Bring
out.
them home. I was like,
Yeah.
ah.
Yeah, she walks out with the armor, with the helmet off, and all the Mandalorian's like, she got her helmet off. And then she tells them all, like, no, she's different. She walks both worlds.
Yeah.
It's time to reclaim Mandalore.
Yep.
And,
And she tells her that she believes her, that she saw the mythosaur.
yeah.
She's just like, you show up, you've seen the mythosaur. She's like, I realize that I'm stuck in the old ways. she's like, the signs of change are pointing me to you. I thought it was so cool. And again, her role as a shaman, right? She's like, all the signs are telling me I have to turn to you. Like, it was so
Yeah,
good.
little moments like when they look back, like she looks back at Mando, and Mando's like,
Yep.
I love how
classic,
subtle his movements are.
like,
too.
yeah.
The guy inside the helmet is doing a great job. Well, it's two guys, I think.
Yeah, because sometimes it's actually Pedro, and sometimes it's someone else.
Well, no, I think there's two.
Speaking of which, what do you think about a
It's
shit?
only Pedro when the helmet's off.
Right.
But I think that there's one guy does all the action scenes. The other guy is the one that does the walk around, the walkie talk stuff. Because if you look on IMDb, there's two guys listed as the Mandalorian.
Oh, that's funny.
Mm.
All right, they're all doing a great job.
Yeah.
What if they shift the focus of the show away from one Mandalorian to another?
It's called The Mandalorian. It's perfectly fair.
That's really kind of what I came from this episode away, where you always thought like the Mandalorian was like Mando and
It would be kind of interesting.
Grogu.
And in the future,
And
like Grogu
Can be the Mandalorian.
And like now, I kind of
He
think
is
the
the most-
Mandalorian's gonna be like the tribe, I guess, or the people.
Yeah.
Like I think that's like that's kind of what I came up with this show. Like it kind of got me rethinking what the title.
need
You
Boba
know,
to
you know
come
what's really
back, though,
funny?
man.
How like most of these episodes have had
that's the only way it
a
would
double
be complete
entendre?
for me.
Yeah.
What?
But like
No.
this one, it was the pirate. It was
I mean,
about
still
the
around-
The
pirate.
only
Like,
way it would be like complete with all Mandalorians is if they go seek out Boba Fett's help. Gotta see Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Remember his whole speech. My father was a Mandalorian. This is his armor. Da, 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 da. You know what I mean? So I think they're gonna go look for him though.
they might.
Well, they know where he is.
Yeah.
I could see
Because
Right,
that.
they
he's not-
definitely know where he is because scummy
Hey,
junk
he's-
dealer says something like, "Oh, you're here to help him." When he goes by to buy the droid.
Yeah.
So
In this episode, though, also Grogu becomes the Mandalorian. The armor gives him his first piece.
No, that was
last
before.
episode.
That was last time.
Oh, that was last episode?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
he's not technically
But
a
he
Mandalorian.
can't. He doesn't speak
So
Yeah.
he can't
until
take
he
the creed.
speaks the creed.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
speak the Creed.
And that
Yeah.
was, and by the way, that episode was called The Foundling, which had
Right,
multiple.
yes.
This is the. Anyway, I wanted to make a point. This episode, all these episodes we've been watching, like the convert, there was
Yes.
two meanings to the convert. The foundling, there was multiple meanings to the foundling, right? But this episode is the pirate. There was no multiple meanings. There is one pirate in this
Unless-
episode. He's got to go
We're
down.
What's his
talking
name
about
now?
the very end too. Although that guy's not a pirate, there is a pirate
This
involved
guy
in
is
that.
kind,
at the
this
end.
guy's
I
kind
guess,
of
but
a
it doesn't-
pirate.
Creef,
Yeah, he's
Carter?
great. I
Oh.
love him.
No,
Yeah,
of course,
he's
but
kind of like Elena, but
but
he's
it's
a
not.
pirate.
But that's not his role in this
And
episode.
Maybe Bo-Katan,
Right, there was-
like
No, because Bo-Katan is actually doing the right thing.
I think
Like
there's
I'm a little
little
sour
bit
of
of
how
a
her of how she
pirate.
started this season, like on her empty throne,
Throne.
pissed off at the world. But I have loved her arc, and it feels believable. It doesn't
Oh, it
feel
does.
And
forced.
this is all
I
intentional.
still don't
Dave-
trust her,
Dave
but yes.
Filoni said Bo-Katan was always intended to have this huge arc.
And I believe it. The animated episodes with Bo-Katan are fantastic.
All right, so that's episode
Well,
number 5.
you skipped the end.
What was the? Oh, post credit. Yeah, post credit.
Almost the post credit.
Almost close.
So the pirate, the pirate.
No,
the
Kim.
pilot, the New Republic
Yeah.
pirate.
Pilots.
Pilots. They go out and they do a hunt for the ship.
No, I was
That was
actually
missing.
scared. Like that scene was done
I
and
thought
so
so. I thought
eerie.
so.
That was
gonna
pretty
jump out.
creepy.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna get killed,
Yeah.
and he sends his lone droid into
No,
the
he
darkness.
The droid takes that piece off of it and it floats in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought I'm like,
it's just the
oh,
R2,
another
the
cool
little-
thing.
that was
Yeah,
the,
another.
on top of R2.
Yeah.
that was
And it turns into a drone.
the rebel pilot, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the rebel pilot. Yeah.
So it searches through the whole thing, and they come to find out this is the ship that Moff Gideon was on. But all the people inside are dead. Moff Gideon's not
Right.
in the ship.
It's
And
interesting,
they-
too,
little
The
piece.
last shot is a shot of a piece of Beskar,
In
which
the-
is going to be used to kind of frame the Mandalorians. But don't forget, if you watch Rebels, there are Mandalorians that are still with the Empire.
Yes.
So we
Well,
shall
plus
see.
there's Mandalorians that left.
Well, like
Bo-Katan,
Boba
too.
Yeah.
Fett was working for Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Until 10 minutes ago.
Yeah. No
8 years ago,
considerations.
apparently, according to this.
I
How
thought
many
it was
years?
interesting too that the shuttle
Yeah.
had clearly been fired upon, but there's still a piece of it just kind of floating there in space.
Yeah.
It didn't go everywhere. Just kind of.
Well, I like how the glass was broken out.
Yeah,
It
that's
was
what I'm saying. It's just
frozen.
kind of there.
Yeah.
Very aliens
And
feeling.
it felt
like
very
No,
much
it had
like
that gothic, creepy feel.
when he's investigating it. It felt very much like a bomb, like when they send the bomb droid in
Yeah.
I was waiting for something to explode.
No, that's exactly what
Yeah.
it was. And I was like, I'm like, oh god, they're gonna kill Kim. Like I was
Yes.
I was like, no, I'm really
Yes.
digging this
And by
guy.
the way,
I do-
that's not his name. But he is he is the actor that plays Mr. Kim. Again, that's another tie because Mr. Kim's son on that show, it's Kim's Convenience. It's called. He plays Mr. Kim. He owns a convenience store, and his son goes on to become Shang-Chi. So all those actors
All right.
and stuff, right?
You gotta bring everybody in.
All right, so that's episode number 5, chapter 22.
We're
The
horrible
Pirate.
people.
Yeah, you know.
What do you guys think about this episode? Please leave a comment below. Let us know. Plus, hit that subscribe button if you haven't hit it yet. Hit that like button. Share it with your friends. We got the playlist for the Mandalorian channel. Check that out. Tons of other Star Wars reviews and lots of other videos. All right? So, until next time, from myself and the rest of the Council of Comics, thank you for watching. Love you.